Yeah, the quarterbacks will rotate as we did in the spring. Nothing has changed there.
Do you anticipate, how long do you anticipate rotating?
We'll see. We'll see. When the time comes for us to declare someone as a starter, we'll do that when it's the right time for us.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about what you've seen from your tight end core as of right now, especially Mason Cook?
Yeah, the tight ends have been doing really good throughout the spring and throughout training camp. Just all of the guys there with Dalton, Mason, with Brevin as well. We have a lot of good guys there, and guys who also serve as that dual threat, right? Guys who are really good in the pass game, right? Guys we can count on, but also the guys been working on the run blocking, and that's going to be paramount to us, our success on offense, our tight ends, and their ability to block in the run game.
What's it going to take for you to determine who's going to be the starting quarterback?
We'll see when that time comes. It's going to be the best guy that I feel like is going to lead our team in the proper way, and that ultimately gives us the best opportunity to go out and be as successful as we can be.
Do you feel like what timeline do you kind of looking at for that? You want like a second position, third position, how long?
We'll see. In Baltimore, I promise you we'll have a quarterback out there.
You got to pressure Derek Stingley in the off season. How much time did you spend with him over the summer, and what have you seen of him reporting to camp?
Yeah, Derek has been great. Came in looking great shape in the off season, right, in the spring, and now out here in training camp. It's just great to see him just straining himself physically, mentally, and competing with every rep that he gets. And he still has a lot to continue to work on, and he's getting there, right? And I feel like he's going to be a very important piece to what we do on defense. And like with all our guys, it's a challenge, right, physically, mentally, to make sure you're grinding to be your absolute best each rep.
Did you have anything you wanted him to do over the summer, accomplish in between?
No.
How acclimated are you getting to being on the offensive side of the ball, watching the offense, do what they learn in training camp?
Oh, yeah, that's part of the process, right? We're making sure that our offense is working efficient. And it's great for our practice today. Like how the offense came out yesterday, it wasn't as clean as it should have been. And credit to our coaches and the players, the way they came out today. They operated in an efficient manner. It was really good to see how they were on schedule. Everything was really good offensively today, and defense. It was just a really solid practice on both sides, and that's what it should feel like.
Does it go a lot back to you interject yourself as far as telling some of these offensive guys what to look for?
Oh yeah, like just right now, during our little pressure period there, I had a conversation with Scott, and we were talking about different looks that we give on the defense and what's the thought process behind those looks. And for me to explain to him on the offensive side how we're trying to attack them, what we're looking for, just so hopefully that helps him as a player. So if he sees some different things, hopefully they can help him understand it and be able to sort things out very quickly.
You're talking a lot about the return of John Mechie. What have you seen that he brings to your team on the field and skill set?
Yeah, Mechie can bring a dynamic element to our offense. I think he's a dynamic playmaker with the ball in his hands. When he, watching him there at Alabama, the plays that he made, right, it's in him. Right, he just has to get back to playing football. It's been a long time since he actually played. So it's encouraging to see him out and encouraging to see him continue to get better. But definitely looking forward to him, being a dynamic playmaker for us.
DeMeco, in your defense, where does that someone like Maliek that can penetrate, and what sets him apart from that?
Yeah, with our front, I think credit to Maliek has been here all off season working with us. He's been very accountable, dependable to his teammates, and he's been working on our different fronts that we run with the 3 technique and the 2 eye. And Maliek has always been always done a great job of disrupting the quarterback by penetrating. So he's going to be a disruptive player for us. He's done it in his past, and we just expect him to continue to build on what he's done.
DeMeco, Noah Brown made a pretty nice catch towards the end of practice. What have you seen from him? What do you want out of him for this?
Yeah, from Noah, I've seen consistency. Like, he's been the same guy from the first day of OTAs even to now. Like, making that catch today, it's not surprising because he's done it so many times. And I think what Noah does is he just builds trust from the quarterback. Right, quarterback, you put it, in the vicinity, Noah's going to stretch out and get it and make that play for you when you need to count on him. So, and that's what we want, guys who are accountable, guys who are dependable, and you build that trust, that chemistry with your quarterback. I think that's what Noah brings to our team.
DeMeco, when you look at Christian Harris, you said about OTAs, there's plenty of upside with him. He's working primarily with the ones. Where do you see him improve over the offseason? Did you spend any one-on-one time with him about learning maybe how to play at all three linebacker spots?
With Christian, he's been really dialed in mentally, and to see how he came back in training camp, the game has slowed down for him, is what I've seen in his growth from OTAs to now. The game has slowed down. He's able to process things much quicker and be able to utilize, his speed and playmaking ability. So seeing that growth, seeing the trajectory of where he's headed, it's encouraging and it's exciting to see.
What do you see in Dalton Schultz?
Dalton is another guy similar to Noah Brown, just consistent playmaker for us, right? He does things exactly the right way. He operates with the proper precision, with running his routes, with his catching, operating on getting vertical after the way he finishes his catches. Everything has been consistent with Dalton, and he's been a true leader for us on the offensive side.
DeMeco, you talked about each day going to see some improvement. How much of what you're seeing with your eyes on the field, and then you go back and looking at the film after practice, are they matching up with you, or are you seeing getting a little bit different perspective from the film after practice?
Yes, sir. I mean, from today, right, just seeing it on the field today, from where we were yesterday, I know we made that improvement, and that's our expectations each and every day, to make those improvements. So I know today was a successful day because we took a step in the right direction as a team.
With your wide receiver room, the guys have the ability to maybe move around a little bit. What's the challenge in making sure that they get the right amount of reps at all the spots, but still getting enough reps at where they might primarily?
And it all depends on what each guy can handle. So I look at it as every guy is different. Some guys who've been in the system before, they can handle a little bit more, and it's all about just making sure guys are in position to where they can operate as fast as they can possibly go, right?
Is that like body plates with chest, with how he wants to organize the wide receiver plays because of the versatility?
We'll see how his chest looks when when it comes time to diagnose those plays.
You can take a couple more, Brooks. You can certainly by Baltimore, you'll have a quarterback, so you got to pick one to have the first snap in the first preseason game. Is that who's the best at that time, or is that like maybe you might throw someone an answer for some questions?
It's the same with the quarterback. Like when that time comes, everybody will see. I'm not gonna, as I don't have that answer for you right now for New England or Baltimore. We'll see when we get there.
DeMeco, when you look at Devin Singletary, you mentioned guys with inconsistent and have to trust and rapport for quarterbacks. See another one just because of his impact that he had at Buffalo, who's already making that piece.
Yeah, again, same. Right, impact has been there for Devin. Consistent guy who we feel like can definitely add some value to our offense, and his pass catching ability has been great, right along with his running ability. So it's good to have Devin, veteran guy who's done and made plays in his league, guy you can count on.
Your secondary made some plays today. Even though somebody was 17 that was out there second the first pass of the game. What have you seen from the secondary, and what do you think their ceiling could be in 2020?
Yeah, from today, what I saw is guys attacking the ball and playing with that ball hawk mentality, and that's what I want from our secondary. That's how it should look today. That's how it should look each and every day. That's what our focus is taking the ball away. So if our secondary is as good as they can actually be, it'll look like that, right? Multiple plays on the ball.
Thank you.
All right? Thank you, guys.
How's you feeling now? Second day, I mean, you didn't put the pads on. How have you seen how you're feeling and how you think y'all
Hot.
feeling as a coach?
It's hot out here. But, we just out here working, man.
What have you seen from Will Anderson? Obviously, the team did a lot to go get him. There's probably a lot of expectations. But somebody is in the trenches with him. What are you seeing from him? How he's developed from when he first got here to now?
For sure. I see a lot of development. I see him coming out here working every day, consistent, being detailed in his assignment, and I respect him.
Maliek, you feel like you can kind of be an example for some of these guys coming from other teams on short-term deals who were here initially on a short-term deal that teams committed to you? You feel like your work and your success kind of be an example of some of those guys?
For sure. Just coming in here being consistent, you know what I'm saying, putting a good product out there on Sundays and also throughout the week.
How much better do you feel about this defense, how it's set up, the personnel around it?
It feel good, just being held to that expectation of greatness. Just seeing it, being held accountable. I'm loving it.
What about what DeMeco Ryans calling the defense? Obviously, he is who he is. Like,
Yeah.
how's that been for you and for your teammates, man?
It's been great, man. Having him have his hands directly on it, I mean, that's what you hope for.
How'd you spend your summer?
Doing a lot of things, training, fishing.
Fish, think about everything.
Nah. It's my personal time. I go do that dolo.
It seems like a lot of y'all have that part of just as a hobby. Christian
Yeah.
Harrison, I think, too. Other guys just
Steve.
followed up with it.
Yeah.
With how have you seen once y'all showing up in training camp, how they've approached teaching on the inside? Y'all picked up where you left off, is it kind of more that y'all were putting in
You said who?
on the interior defensive line?
Oh man, we just coming in, we working. I thought today we took a step forward interior. I know I took a step forward. Learning a little bit of new techniques. I'm just trying to hone in and work my craft every day on that.
How do you go about that? How do you go about the self-evaluation process? You mentioned that you feel like you took a step forward.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you look at?
You know when you're right, you know when you're wrong. You know, when you're wrong, you feel off. And when you're right, you're making the play. So, you know, that's what the goal is, to go out there and make the plays that you're supposed to make.
Saltwater fishing, freshwater fishing, which one do you prefer?
Freshwater.
Freshwater? You know, so you don't like going down to the Gulf getting on the jets, huh?
Maliek, when you
Water
look
too deep.
When you look at the linebacker position this year, just more veteranship, but also the amount of years experience with Christian, just what does that do for you guys up front to know that there's players behind you that you can have your back and have a little bit more knowledge at the top?
I feel like they've been on it, man. They've been giving us the close calls and, you know what I'm saying, locking us in, getting us right. And I mean, just to hear it in their voice, how much, how right they are when they speak it, you know what I'm saying? And we're just going to go out there and follow them, whatever they tell us to do, and do it to the best of our ability.
Last couple guys.
What kind of players does that?
He fire, man. I played against Denzel when he was at Miami.
Have you noticed Christian maybe be a little bit more vocal this year from last year?
For sure, I think that's what I wouldn't say more vocal, but I mean, the defense called for you to be a general out there, and you got to speak.
Roy did a lot to change his body this offseason. Roy Lopez, what have you thought about his growth from last year?
Roy always changing his body. He always trying to post them thirst traps in the summer, get everybody looking at him. Get out here. Nah, Roy always working. He always gonna continue to do that.
You say thirst traps, like sending you guys selfies in the middle of the day.
Nah, he don't send us selfies. He posts them on the ground.
I said, does he do it on Snapchat too?
I don't know. I ain't on Snapchat.
All right, all set, guys. Thank you.
How y'all doing? I feel like really good coming in from OTAs, mini camp, off season, and training camp. We have a great group of receivers, great core. I would say great route runners, great receivers. That's one thing I've been seeing from all these receivers. They have great routes. From our rookies to our vets, you see it throughout the practice. Guys are getting open and knowing how to separate, and you see that all over.
John's back on the field for the first time. What do you see from him so far?
Who's that? John Metch? Being a playmaker is good, and excited to see him back out there. Obviously, we've all been waiting to see him and make plays, and being able to see him running routes, going against the defense, catching the ball is really exciting for us as football fans and us as Houston Texans to see him out there and competing again.
When he was coming out of Alabama, one thing that people said was his pristine route running and ability to block. But having a full year of watching plays unfold or being able to have the mental capacity, have you seen that translate on, even though he's been away from the game for a year?
Yeah, I would say just his mental approach is I don't want to say different, but I see him being advanced, being able to come out there. Obviously, he took a lot of mental reps, and now he's just letting his feet and his hands do the reps and do the repetitions. And obviously, he's getting open and separating. Now he's just allowing his foot and physically do the work.
Give me a thumbnail on the three quarterbacks ball, the type of ball that comes out each one. You being a receiver, just a quick thumbnail on CJ.
Yeah, all of them been great since we got here. Started with Davis, been here the longest, been throwing really crisp balls, whether it's deep, intermediate, nice and firm on the underneath stuff, as well as CJ, doing the same things, as well as being accurate, obviously being a rookie, coming in and grasping this offense, being able to make the right reads, making the right checks and adjustments in his drops. Obviously, this is a advanced offense to learn, and he's picking it up right away, picking up all the details, and that's really good for a rookie to come out here and grasp this offense and being able to take hold of it. It's great competition. And Case, obviously, being a vet, being able to know what to do, obviously make the right reads, get the guys in the right position, being able to also be a coach on the field, but making the right throws and know when to put the touch on the ball. Sorry. Yeah, I would say yesterday was good as well. It was just not as a finish, I would say. First day, being able to go out there and make plays early on, and you get the fatigue settling in, and you let the fatigue in. And I think today guys were able to push through that and battle, make plays throughout the practice, and really competitive day from offense and defense on both sides. And day 2 of training camp, guys pushing through, and just got to do it again and come back tomorrow. I'm just allowing them guys to be themselves. I come out here and want to be a vet to them, but I'll come out here and get my work in. They come and ask me questions. I'm an open book, feeding them everything. But like I said, these receivers they're route runners. They know how to get open. And I kind of tell them, like one of my receiver coaches told me, if they have questions, like, you know how to get open. You're a receiver. If he's lined up outside, go inside. If he's lined up inside, go outside. Don't think about it too much. You want to play fast, and I think these receivers are, like I said, are great route runners, and you want them to be able to get into their route as fast as they can without thinking.
You said an advanced offense earlier. What would you say somebody that's played it before? What would you say is the hardest, the most difficult thing to grasp about it, the most difficult thing to learn?
It's difficult, but it's simple because it's all illusion. Everything we're trying to make look the same. It's a lot of moving parts, but like ultimately we're kind of getting to the same spots, but it's just like you have to be locked into the calls, the checks, the formations, the movements. And like I said, it's a lot of moving stuff pre-snap, hearing the calls and adjustments. And you just got to be locked in. It could be run, pass, flip the run. So like I said, it's a detailed offense. You got to be dialed in. It's more so about having that mental capacity to be able to grasp this offense. Aggressive. I would say wants to get his playmakers the ball. He's aggressive in his coaching, getting the guys to be urgent and be decisive. You have a job to do, get to it, and I think he's holding everybody accountable from the field to the meeting rooms, and just the urgency I would say that he's bringing to our offense and to our team. It's a short offseason. I think our first preseason game is in 2 weeks, and that kind of just shows we have a small amount of window to be great. And we got to get there as fast as we can.
What are your impressions of the secondary so far?
Really good. I like the secondary from my experience with them last year. Obviously, they have a solid group. Getting able to see Nelson, Steve out there in training camp, playing well with Sting on the opposite side, making plays. Petrie, Reed obviously been making plays throughout their career. Petrie early career, but like I said, a group who flies around, communicate well, which is really good, and being able to make plays and get after the ball.
As somebody who's been a chip on your shoulder collectively as receiving core, a lot of people talked about what was number one, say called it more of a collective. How do you guys view that? Is it motivation?
We don't hear any of that. We're not paying attention to any of the outside noise. We're in our meeting room working on getting better, working on improvements. We're just trying to go out there and be our best, and obviously that's good enough for NFL receivers being able to make plays. We're in the offense where we're able to get separation, coach is able to call plays, and like I've been telling guys, be ourselves. The plays are going to come. Just can't wait to do it on Sundays.
Let's
do two more, guys.
As somebody who's been in this offense before, is there kind of a timetable of where everything kind of starts to click, or would you say it more so is in stages where it's pre-install and then it's actually running the reps and then it's finalizing the little details?
Like I said, it's urgency. We're expecting this thing to click right away. Obviously, it's competitive. We're working together. We're learning. But we need it to happen right now. We're obviously trying to click and make plays throughout the practice. Obviously, the faster you get into it, the faster you're able to get rolling and know what to expect. But like I said, we're expecting it right now. The urgency is huge on our part.
In your career, you played inside and outside.
Yeah.
John and Tank did the same in college. What kind of weapon is that versatility for the offense where you talked about the illusion, the disguising, where everybody kind of line up everywhere, it feels like?
Route runners. That's why I say you got a group full of route runners, guys who are able to get open, whether it's outside or inside, moving around. And I think that's what you want. You want guys to be able to go out there and pretty much serve the defense, being able to get open. Or you get fatigue or a rotation come in, you want the next guy or the next group to come in and have that same exact standard where it's no drop-off from your first guys, your second guys, your third guys. Like I said, we have a group of receivers that's full of route runners, and we're expecting the same thing when every group is out there. So guys able to move around inside and out. We're able to attack the field throughout the whole game and in every single unit.
Last one, Brooks.
No way.
You're getting into the secondary, Matthew Stingley, Petrie, others. What do you notice about that group?
Like I said, they communicate well, able to get themselves in great position to defend the concepts and the formations. And like I said, they're quick reaction. They're young. Really, I would just say they communicate well and being able to get themselves in good position to make plays. Sting has been making plays throughout camp so far. Petrie obviously flying around, and the excited group, especially for them being young, to be able to come out here and capitalize early.
All right. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's going good, especially in those team settings, when you can incorporate the offensive lineman, defensive lineman, they can kind of feel it, like everything kind of happens just a little bit slower than it does on air. So for us, that's super valuable, especially as route runners, to get the quarterback timing and get them all settled in.
So whenever you were in free agency, what is it about the Texans that stuck out to you?
I came in and met DeMeco, and right away, he jumps out. He's a great guy, full energy. I know you guys have all probably met him. I have a lot of respect for the schemes that they brought over. I like the coaching staff. I like the nutrition staff, the strength staff. Everybody that I've met around here has been great. And so that to me, right away when I came, I was like, okay, this is a pretty cool place. And they're a young team. They got a lot of good young pieces and a lot of veteran leadership. That nobody really talks about, but you get in the locker room, you feel it right away. So I think it just felt a lot. Very familiar, very comfortable, and I think when I came, it was like a no-brainer for me.
With tight ends, it seems that sometimes call security blanket for quarterbacks at times. What's your relationship with quarterbacks right now? We've noticed from Davis, from CJ. How do you approach that relationship with those two?
Yeah, first of all, it's Slowick has brought a very quarterback-friendly scheme in. And so I think there's a lot of answers built into a lot of just the scheme stuff that he's got in so far. And a lot of that, is going through progressions, and a lot of that sometimes is like the tight end late. And so just like, building that relationship, whether it be, in OTAs, minicamp, throughout the summer, just trying to, again, work on that timing aspect of everything. Like, that's really what it comes down to, is just developing that trust, with all those guys. And I think, we got some strides to go, but I feel like we made a lot of progress, especially from where we started in OTAs.
So during the offseason, how often did you work with
Your off-season.
the guy? Go ahead.
I think we're asking the same thing. Off-season workouts with the quarterbacks and some of the offensive players. Did you do some of that and didn't have that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was pretty much here for OTAs, minicamp, and then, throughout the summer, like, we've gotten together, thrown a few times, like, so just like any of that extra work that you can put in running this stuff, like, it's a brand new offense to everybody. And so I think the more time on task you have, a lot of guys have been like super willing to show up and put in the work. The more of that we can get, the better, because everybody needs it.
Oh, you guys had one in UH. Were there other places around the country, or was it mostly here in Houston? There's some other venues?
Yeah, I mean, we've thrown at different spots. I'll be honest, like, we tried to avoid the outside in Houston like all summer. So whoever had the open indoor gym at the time was like who we were throwing with. So, but yeah, we've been a few places.
What's the most challenging part of implementing and learning the scheme? Is it basically the timing, repetition? What would you say is the most challenging part of it as you're trying to learn?
I'd say this scheme specifically, it's just a lot. Like, there's just a lot of volume, period. Like, everybody, top to bottom, there's a lot of different ways that we can run stuff. And then there's ways that you can flip those and run it the other way. It's like, so I think just in terms of like sheer volume, like, it's just a lot. And so I think that's the biggest challenge in my mind. And then just, again, getting the timing, the rhythm, the verbiage down, like, making sure everybody's comfortable hearing things in and out, quarterbacks included. Again, it's a new offense for everybody. And so I think everybody feels a little bit like, kind of a rookie at some points when it's like you hear a play and you're like, feel yourself thinking out there a couple times. And so eliminating that process, I think, for us is going to be the biggest step forward.
Now, I would love if you got to know Laramie and Titus and Shaq. And what is your first impression of them?
To be honest, like, the O-line's kind of like in their own like little room, and like they stay pretty close. So like I haven't had a bunch of sit-down conversations with those guys, but like my first impressions of them they're great. Like, LT came in and straight away, like, he's a big time guy. He just got a nice big contract, and like, but I mean, he carries himself very, very humbly. Like, he's very easy to talk to. He's outgoing. Like, he's one of the leaders in the locker room for sure. I mean, same thing with Titus and Shaq. I mean, those guys are. I mean, we were just sitting down around the locker room. I was listening to them tell stories about X, Y, and Z in the past. You know what I mean? They got a good room. They're really tight.
When you look at this style of offense just throughout their time in the NFL, it seems to be very tight end friendly. Have you noticed that in the install, and have you noticed anything similar to this compared to the offense last year?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, it's not like Slo's in there saying like, okay, listen, we're going to throw the tight end the ball on this play. It's not like I'm sure there'll be some plays like that down the line, but like as of now, like it's a pure, hey, this is the play, this is why we're calling it, this is what it's for, these are the routes, like here's why we're doing the things that we do. And so I think taking that approach to like just installing the scheme has been helpful for everybody, because like I said, everything can be run every different way out of every different formation, and anybody can be anywhere. So I think there's a lot of weaponization that like you can do from an offensive personnel standpoint. It gets us excited.
Dalton, what do you think of the offense today? DeMeco specifically said they did much better today than yesterday.
Yeah, I think yesterday, I mean, everybody feels it. Like out here in the heat, like day one, I think everybody's just kind of getting used to the things. And I think there was a period where offensively, like, we kind of fell flat, like on the last half of the practice. And today, it didn't feel like that. It felt like we were able to kind of sustain a little bit better. I think guys came in a little bit more well hydrated. That's just a challenge of training camp out here in Houston. I mean, I'm getting used to it as well too. So, but yeah, it's been a good challenge for us. I mean, this has got to be the hottest, that we're ever going to face like this year. With the exception of maybe Jacksonville, maybe it's a little hotter. I don't know. But I mean, this is as bad as it's going to get. So, if we could practice well through this and dominate this, like, we're going to be just fine.
Yesterday, he sure he said he and Sting would play a lot of Madden together. I know you're a gamer. Did you ever get in the mix with those guys on Madden?
I don't play Madden. It's funny. That's like the one game that like I've never touched.
They ever get in the mix on the games you played?
There's a couple. Like Troy, like believe it or not, if y'all ever interview Troy, like Troy's a big gamer. Like he's same. I'd say like he's the one that's like same level as me, where like he builds his own PCs. He's got a liquid cooled PC, which is crazy. Like I don't even do liquid cooling. Like I'm too lazy. So.
So why haven't you played Madden? Obviously.
Dude, I'm not a sports guy, man. Like when it comes to video games, like I'm just not a. It's like a guitarist not playing Guitar Hero. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit different. I don't know. Maybe I'm opinionated on that, but.
Texas football at every level has to deal with this heat. What are some things that you would like to say to Texas football players that are younger and are working out in this heat? What are the things that you've learned over time?
Yeah, I mean, number one is like stay hydrated. That's the most important thing that you can do out here. I mean, you're losing water, and in this humidity, especially down here, it's like your sweat doesn't ever really leave, your arms or wherever you're sweating. Like it just kind of stays. So making sure that you're on top of your hydration, making sure you're being, you're taking the rest whenever you can. Like I know it's dog days out here in training camp sometimes where it's like back to back to back reps. But I mean, heat stroke is real. And I think having the open honesty to communicate with your trainers and your coaches around you to make sure that you're staying on top of your body and your hydration, like obviously of utmost important. And I think, when you know you're on top of all that, I think it's important to just kind of have that mindset that, listen, this is training camp, and I mean that's what it's about. It's about pushing through those dog days and getting through and dominating really that last part of practice, when you're at your most tired. So
A couple more guys. Obviously Bobby is slow his first time as an offensive coordinator. What's he like in comparison to what you've been around? Is he open to suggestions? Did he begin training camp like, hey, we're going to try these kind of different things than we did in the off season? What ways do you see him kind of growing into that?
I'm assuming he's open to suggestions. Like I could be dead wrong. Like I don't know, but like so far it's just been, again, there's so much stuff that it's just been, this is what we got, here's how we run it, this is why we're running it. But I think the biggest difference for me is like he's really like opening it up to like, hey, listen, this is the routes, this is how we run the routes, this is our splits on this play, this is why this is our splits. This is like he's teaching not only what you have on a play, but he's going through and he's like, listen, we're doing this because this. Like, and he's kind of going into the depths of like why we kind of do all the things that we do. And I think when you're installing stuff, at least for me, that's like super valuable for players. You know what I mean? Because like, one, it's not only going to create those like, visual and like memory cues when you hear this, but it's going to like help. Like for example, like if I'm in a split and I look out and I know the receiver is supposed to be in a certain split on this play, like if I only knew what I had to do, like I wouldn't be able to know that he's messed up. And it's like we can all help each other with this whole process. And I think having that kind of like big scope, general big picture idea from the start is like extremely useful. Again, yes, it's a lot of volume, but like I think having that perspective when you start is going to be extremely valuable for us.
And you've spent your entire pro career in Texas. Like, what do you feel like? Because you grew up in Utah, right? At Stanford. What about? Do you sense yourself being in Texas? You live in Dallas and Houston. Have you kind of grown into that? What you notice about the state?
Dude, I love living here. Like, this state's been nothing but welcoming to me, except when I said I hate Tex-Mex. I feel like the whole state turned on me for that one, but other than that, dude, it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed my time here. I've enjoyed like getting to know a new city, especially coming down here. I mean, you can tell it's a much different vibe from Dallas, and I mean, down here we're living in the city, which is like a stark contrast from kind of Dallas. We're kind of in the suburbs, so like just kind of immersing ourselves in a new environment, new city, getting to know the people and the diversity around. It's been great.
Last one. All set?
Maybe the Tex-Mex is better down here.
It's not. I'm doubling down.
What about like regular Mexican food? Like love Mexican. All right.
Wait, like California style? Or like, yeah.